Welcome back. I don't know what we're doing today. I don't want to play Ace Attorney today because I don't want to do any editing because I'm tired as shit. So I'm not going to do any editing today. I will do editing on Saturday. And I'm going to do some editing I mean, not on Saturday. Saturday I don't stream. On Friday. And then, of course, we have on Monday, or next Friday, not tomorrow, but the Friday after, we have Mario. So, yeah, but I don't know what I'm going to play today. I'm trying to get my friends' attention to ask them to play Overwatch, but they seem very busy today, so they said they were busy today, so Gamer Thursday. Let's open up Steam. I saw this game online. What was it called? Like Blocks? Or like what was it called? Fighting game roguelike. Was it like Blocks or something?
And I'm out. Later, losers.
What the fuck is that?
What the hell is a Gamer Thursday?
Yo! It's Gamer Thursday! I'm gaming over here. I don't know what we're playing. It's a day when I have no idea what I'm playing. Thanks for the resub. Play Overwatch with me. That means you have an hour to play the game. Fuck therapy. You don't need it. All you need is epic gaming. True, true. Are you free this time tomorrow? Because I could play, what do you call it? Probably. Can I get like a yes on that? That would be nice. How much money does it cost? At like 2 p.m.? 2 p.m. Eastern. Dead Space is $60. No. So at 2 p.m., yeah? Is that a yes? I'm going to put on a track. Unless it's about done at work, yeah? Okay. Do you have Baldur's Gate 3? No, unfortunately. Sorry. Alright, if you're gonna play Overwatch tomorrow, I'll do Ace Attorney today, and I guess I'll just push through being tired. And then we'll play Overwatch tomorrow. Unless there's a meltdown at work, in which case it'll be Gamer Friday. It's goated. I've heard really good things about it, but I don't know. It seems like the next, like, God of War type game, which I'm not very into, personally. Will this controller decide to work today? No? Yes, I do. But I play all the roles, so if you want to play tank, that's totally fine. So sorry for what? What's wrong with... Means I understand what? What? Why does it suck? What did they do? What did they fucking do to Diva? Will this controller work now? No? Nothing, there's nothing, every tank such as, besides the resident disorder, just dies immediately. Then I'll play fucking, I don't know, I'll play, like, Junkrat or something. What? QP is getting more sweaty. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room where Mr. Windbang keeps articles that are currently in pawn. I'm so tired. Well, it doesn't matter. I want to play the... That's why I want to play with a friend. I'm not going to play by myself, because that's boring as shit. That's why I asked you today, but if you're not free today, let's play tomorrow. You free later today? What time? Like 6 Eastern? Ah, I don't like that though. Because this is my usual streaming time. Are you sure you're not free tomorrow at 2? Yeah, I'll join you at like 1 or 1:30. Is that okay? Like 1:30. All right. Recommended or not, it's something. There's one key, and Mr. Windbank keeps it in pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot, which he slides under his pillow. I'll let you know if something happens. All right. How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I'm a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I'm frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder, and the prime suspect of this pawnbroker he's ever burgled. What are the assortment of things that are on these shelves? Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches? Almost anything you can care to imagine. Those are forfeited items, offered for sale by the pawnbroker. Have I heard the news? What news? Oh, the somber rework? Get that ass banned. No, I'm kidding. Wait, hold on. 1 second. I timed you out for 1 second. Yeah, and they put Paul Castro Jr. in the game, and I'm not playing. When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. Yeah, I know. Oh, you did? Shit! I didn't know purging you did that. How do I remod you? Slash mod. There. He's free to display it at a shopper's sale for the price of his choosing. Yeah, I'm noticing a little price tag. Simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend this period of safekeeping, so you may pawn that black gob of yours without fear, my dear fellow. What the fuck is going on with Nightbot? Oh, the controller's finally working. What? 2 pence of it? The article's barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Oh, hey, it's you. Oh, Herlock? Yeah, he's gay. Absolutely. Oh, right, this is a Scottish chick. Gordon Bennett, you lot. Oh, Miss Lestrade, I hope you've been well. I'm fucking loading my gun at you. Eh, what? You remember me then, do ya? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. She's great. So what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us, nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel, sorry, coat, have ya? Ah, good day. Unless I'm much mistaken, you'd be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah, Mr. Show! So you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article and I shall negotiate for Mr. Windbank on your behalf. Pull the other one. I don't need no help from some stuck-up thief. Get out of me business. Go on or I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. And you, go on, leave me alone! Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Whatever. Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Yeah, well I am, alright. I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, did she? Yeah, I see it all over your, written all over your Chevy Chase. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines, yes. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Narada? Alright, then I'm just going to come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose. Sometimes. But not this time, alright? I swear, that thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Winterbank is hurting. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Mr. Winterbank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny bumps on the surface. Ah, this is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. What, you don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern ain't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one of these discs before. The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going and beautiful music plays. It's so incredible. What tune is on this disc? Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music boxes, you see. British-made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well... He? Who? Never you mind. It just ain't right, that all. That disc works good money. I know it is. Well then, you have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? She's been in, of course, this little tatterdemalion. What? This little what? Tatterdemalion. I brought some sort of dubious article or other with her every single time I may add. What does that mean? That's the word of the day. Tatterdemalion. Ragged or disreputable in appearance. That's the word of the day. Dubious, what are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. So is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. Ah, storage ticket. So, Mrs. Straight has actually come to redeem an article from you today. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff that needs storing. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight today, but she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest. I was obliged to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winterbank. The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. What? What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? Ah, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn, if the girl and I can agree on a price. I'm confused. I thought you said that Mrs. Strain brought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I understood it. That's right, yes, and rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. What? Don't you think it's rude to stare at a lady? I see, so it came from the pocket of the overcoat. So what happens was she stole a... And she immediately tried to pawn it for quite a high price as well. So she stole a return ticket, paid the money for it, and then got the disc and tried to pawn that as well. Give it up, I'm just trying to pawn something like everyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the coat here in the first place? Well, me? It doesn't really appear to be your size. Me old man! It's me old man's, isn't it? Is it, Miss Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please. Zeppeli! Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. What's your problem, eh? There's no problem as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a jet, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket. Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am? The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy to even remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What? You mean from you? Broker? I believe the filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say, any music box discs too. No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's, or it was. Now it's mine. This is a very awkward situation. Well, this guy's totally sus. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Mrs. Strayed, is what the gentleman is saying. What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I've never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street minding my own business when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wrecked pickpockets. As you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time I've been targeted by these backs. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Hold on, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy clothes, and you think I'm the dodgy one? Where's your evidence that I've stolen something? Oh, I have evidence, naturally. Oh, the ledger. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. But why not? Yes, I see. But then how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir. Might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Professor. That's all the evidence we need. The gentleman is the rightful owner of this article. Why certain customers like to keep the activity secret. Great detectives have no dark secrets, not at all. That's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I set the new article. It's like a secret number combination of numbers. And then of course I give the storage ticket to the customer. I ask them for the ticket and the watchword. Then why didn't you give the article to... Then why did you give it to Lestrade if she didn't give you the lost word, the watchword? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first, but clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. What? Why is he grooving? Of course, yes. I'm Ryosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really. Eggert Benedict? Really? Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I'll be watching him. We went the same place. So, let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. Just this one? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. Okay, so you got this from someone else. So, Gutterlin, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal! I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to the old man. So you're not having it. Or you, take it. If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again, so you keep hold of it. You there, in the black livery, hand that disc to me at once, please. I don't trust him. How am I going to resolve this? Look at those piercing eyes. He's clearly in no mood to talk. We have to do something quickly before this mysterious gentleman leaves to fetch the police or something. Mr. Winterbank. Oh, right, he likes killing himself. Mr. Jones, what are you examining? So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows, cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing else to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see. So, feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place, while, as you surely observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, the 7% solution of caramel. What the fuck is wrong with him? Do you stand to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. I haven't heard much of your conversation. My ears devoured every word that was uttered. It would seem that my inferences are correct. My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, with my genius for deduction to be commoditized, how much could I pawn it for? Alright, what do you have to say? Well, Miss Lestrade, it appears you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where the blue blazes have you been, eh? When a lady's in trouble, a two gent's supposed to be in there to help. Straight away, not an hour later. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Egbert Benedict, you have in my eyes a veritably encyclopedic arrays of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two movable conclusions I have drawn. The first is this. The true reason for the visit to the pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with an intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deduction? It appears that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Ah yes, as I had hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. He's so fucking goofy. Gaming time. Dun, 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 dun. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. I love how this is honestly one of my favorite parts of the game. I love the little spinny animations. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street, but that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something different. You have the ticket in your hands. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. What brought you to the shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. Is that what that is? The piece of your paper in your hand is the staff wanted advertisement for this very shop. Now, even the most unobservant would realize that a man of your appearance would have no such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you clutch to your person, exhibits a contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years! The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the tip, and yet detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of the stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. The rod that which you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you universally facilitate the answer to the next conundrum present. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding the riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle? But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken handle of a shovel. Are you insane? And now, having determined this deniable cruise, your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have! What? No, Mr. Benedict, let us continue, for we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save it for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do such as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason, as you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. Let's consider. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. The letter gives notice of a public works to be carried out in the local area. He wants the gun. And according to the enclosed plans of upcoming sewerage works, beneath the shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the Great Vault of the financial institution opposite. In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault to the bank? Are you quite serious? I love him. He's so funny. He manages to be so wrong, yet so right at the same time. Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I already know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells you all we need to know. The great exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of this road. The considerable crime you've been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of the bank, the special reserve funds for the great exhibition. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this pawnbrokery puzzle. Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruto? An impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, wouldn't you agree? Was it true what you said about the bank? Indeed, although few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation to that. Certainly it is because the man is a criminal. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windibank will. He already has plenty of shovels here. I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps you'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruto, an excellent idea! Well then, Mr. Naruto, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Sherlock Holmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. First of all, we must ask ourselves what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. So, by Mr. Sholm's reasoning, Mr. Benedict came in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get quite far with the broken shovel, would he? I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is where? What did Mr. Benedict... What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this specific point of time? Look, silk top hat is whiter than white. Only an English gentleman could hope to carry off something so bright. Look at the polished brass on the handle. But yes, it's not the sort of handle you normally see on a cane. Perhaps it's the latest London fashion. I mean, that's guesswork. Perhaps you could adopt a cane, Mr. Naruto. It would rather suit you. I have a feeling it might argue with a sword around my waist.
Take that!
No. Oh, well, it's supposed to be a logic and reasoning spectacular, so I thought this is my show, Mr. Naruto. Mr. Naruto, you're fucking stupid. Perhaps there's something in this pawn shop that the man was looking for. Let's look closely and see if there's anything about his person. Oh, look at all the scribbled note on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrange. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel jagged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrange. There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. The details of the shop have been written on here too. Winterbank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street. Redemption deadline, 15th April. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the info about Mr. Strayed. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket, Mr. Strange, and the pawnbroker here. You wanted to assassinate her, maybe? You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Mr. Strayed after she stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's Pawnbrokery, and today the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you've written down to arrive. And you have gone to some length to hide the reason for your pursuit of Mr. Strayed. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, demonstrates what utter rot. I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak, of course, is the missing ferule. What's a ferule? I wish this game had voice acting so I didn't have to read so much. It's the metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane. The bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement. And Mr. Sholmes is right, it appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't, although the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. So in other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather us not know. It's a sword. Those must be initials. In the West, it's common for people to engrave their belongings with their first letter or names. So Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? Obviously. Oh, AG. Why does it feel as though that's not quite right?
Take that!
Attorney General, maybe? Is this the Lion Man staff? I don't know why I called him the Lion Man. That... But, the guy in the coat, hold on. Are you in here? No, you aren't. Astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edgar Benedict? We're led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. But in yes possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. A contradiction indeed, would you not say? You're wrong, this cane isn't... You said before that you had the cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Did his pants just rip? SpongeBob rip his pants? And into your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer to the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Let's consider the bare bones of what happened here. Mr. Strayed redeemed that fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. So all we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. The seam on the shoulder is coming apart. Do you remember a moment ago, Mr. Bennick? I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl, but now I think it was the sound of the seam ripping. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and he wouldn't have a hope of fastening at the front. If he were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. That I'd like to see. So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around?
Take that!
The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so baldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalog of untruths have all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Windibank. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I originally imagined has been considerably curtailed. Oh yeah, he told us about the bank thing for nothing. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in planning. All I'm saying is that Susato's 16 and Gina's 17, they're in love. That's all I'm saying. They're in love. All I'm saying is that Susato and Gina are in love. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed to wheeze a filch of some tawdry article of pawnage, have forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword. Had I not been the one to deposit in the first place, how could I have possibly known the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered, as you're only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Oh, by looking at the ledger, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. What? Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor, if you didn't know that word, Mr. Windibank would never allow you to redeem the article. If you did know the word, so the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? The ledger! Look at this, Miss Susato. It appears to be a memo that he's scribbled to himself. Mr. Windibank must make a note of the watchwords his customer gave him right before his eyes. And an alarmingly clear script as well.
Take that!
The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure when a customer comes to redeem an article. They ask for the customer for the watchword and notes down in the response uttered a notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. It is increasingly apparent that you were present in the shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Winterbank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword as his common practice, he observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Mr. Strayed. Which brings us, why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from the pawnbroker? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box does. But naturally, you had very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pocket, which according to Mr. Winterbank isn't even worth a penny. Yet this man went to such great lengths to steal them. I wonder if we already have the evidence needed to explain it. They plucked the teeth of the comb to make notes, and on the edge there's a small amount of blood. Yes, blood of the mysterious Mr. Egbert Benedict. When you tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger. McGilden? So he's gonna come back into this. Then was the fourth case just like a filler? And a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. For McGilden. But why? Why is his name on this?
Take that!
You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads for McGilden. Ah, Magnus McGilden, the unfortunate philanthropist who appears in us in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. I don't think he's actually dead. I think he might be alive. A prominent man in London, known as loan-mongering, demonstrated a distinct lack of... So you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilden was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for the overcoat you squeezed yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Egbert Benedict. But the final conclusion is here crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilden. What's up, Kibbity? Elementary, you did all the work for me. Good job, Naruhodo. Well, well, Magnus McGilden. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. According to what Mr. Winterbank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Would have been 15th February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m. But that suggests 15th February is precisely on the day on which the omnibus murder took place, and 10:30 in the evening is precisely at the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Wait, so that means... if he deposited at 10:30 p.m., he was never on the omnibus in the first place. You, of course, are at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However, I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. You have a gun over there! Winnerbang, pick up your gun! There you go! This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Alright, that's enough. Inspector Gregson. Oh hell yeah, banger track. This song's a banger. Hi, what's up? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised one out on one of our dedicated emergency lines, so we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was blown away for forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. He did. It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Petty, Mr. Winterbank very nearly met his end. Yeah, by his own gun as far as I could tell. Convenient, yeah. And the whole of Britain could meet its end if I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working out. Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat, officer, too! There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning. I'll be taking whatever it is of Miss Gilded down to the yard. Mr. McGilded down to the yard. Thank you very much. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine! I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. And so we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? Yeah, the D let me keep it, after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to stop her. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help but feel like it's gonna get you in serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc mine. The music box disc? But Mr. Winterbank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long, odd stare. I think not, Mrs. Strange. We shan't be entering Windibanks again today. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windibank. But this way, I had to dig it for the skull, and that was in the coat's pocket, and there should be something else in all. That's what that wrong code said, ain't it? Mrs. Strayed, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I may entertain you with a modest violin recital. Nota. Why would I come around your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Once she had a chance to come down, there's a good chance she'll come. Very well then, I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing, I should be glad of your company later too. I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Can it really be that we've been in Great Britain for 2 months already? Yeah, it's gone by in a flash, hasn't it? And what an English gentleman you. When I thought it through, I realized it's not at all true. I don't feel any Britishness is rubbed off on you. Nor you, to be honest. Well, that's obviously because, without a doubt, it's your kimono. It certainly stands out. I do adore the attire of English ladies. It's quite delightful, but somehow, I just don't feel ready to abandon my Japanese dress just yet. Susie and Bruno, come in. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, aren't you? After all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on, hee hee, you'll never guess. Look at those little eyes of her shining. Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny, isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh yes, that does sound like what? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Really? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg of you that you won't speak to me. I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, really does. Iris is clearly the parent here. I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Runa? You have such an ever-funny look on your face. Oh no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right? Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the Mr. McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. And I chase after her down the back alleys. It's a fun game of tag, and then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. There's so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. You've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, right? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been so long since she last came over. Oh, I didn't mean to select that again. I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, don't you? My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mommy passed away when I was born, and around the same time, my father... Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. So you mean it's all true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes, I mean it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father. So I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. So I asked Hurley who wrote these. He nearly fell out of his chair. But then he told me that's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father. I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in, so it came as quite a shock. When Hurley told me it wasn't really my daddy, I mean... I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, actually. Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. The other day was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. He's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so I could earn a doctorate as well. Oh shit! Who's the guy who died in our first case? Visiting professor of medicine at Yuma University. Miss Susato, perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Jump scare! Oh, my dear fellows, good to see you! Wherever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc. No, not another disc, Mrs. Otto. This is the one Gregson demanded we handed over as evidence. You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that I have undeniable turn for detection. I may as well be even more adept at larceny. Bro just committed larceny? Ooh, that would be wonderful, exciting. I'll be your pickpocket assistant, and Reno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. But Susie has such beautiful handwriting, she could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. What? I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregerson took it back to Scotland Yard. That sort of uncompromising attitude is why I always carry some of this. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your mind back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. This caramel is quite exceptional. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. Carrying a pair of these on one person. Take a house key, for example. A simple press and a unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious of what manner of music the disc would do when it played. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes, what music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box? Do you like my flag? Thank you! Thank you. That means a lot. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? Goodness, you don't know, Runo? Yeah, I know how it... Inside a music box is a special metal piece called the comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it. Over time, a new type of player was introduced that used discs such as these. How's my name pronounced? My name is, like... Oh, like, my username. Kepri. K-H-E-P-R-I. Kepri. Discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe that now manufacturing music back. Kara? It's Kara. It's pronounced Kara. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music. But even with the Thank you. We are now presented with an insurmountable problem. As you may imagine, the construction of one's firm's music box does not match that of another, and we have no way of knowing which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There's no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. Naturally, I test a disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one, so I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all music boxes ever made in Europe. What? An unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. In the worst case, I should just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. Magnus McGilded, not a name I expected to hear again so soon. It's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspaper is still claiming it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Frag Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. What is wrong with Nightbot? It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner. Gina will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie, there's plenty to do. I think I should investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I live it? That reminds me of something Mr. Winterbank said. He said he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Shulman's latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. So you heard about that, did you? I expected you were as incensed as I was. The idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Winterbank's storeroom gathering dust. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it. More secure than a bank vault. And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. How do you know the name? The memo you received. Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles, but how could you know the full title? Well, that's because Miss Susato is such a great fan of all the stories of Mr. Sholmes. But, Mr. Runo, the Hound of the Baskervilles has never been published. When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. That's why he said that he'd keep it safe, until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. And yet, how could Susie here know its title? It would appear a guest has arrived. This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. We've all been eagerly waiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Oh yes, just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come on in. Let's eat us some Mendelssohn. I won't take no for an answer. Cat! Meow! That evening, Ash prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome, and Gina, as we all came to call her, taught us how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well until the night. That was a very enjoyable evening, was it? Best of all, I bet I can see the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Now, Hodo-san, can I consult with you about something, I wonder? Hold on. It's about the telegram I received. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Stranga asked to see me tomorrow morning. I've been summoned alone. I have no idea. I suppose I should find out tomorrow. Good evening, friends. Ginny's gonna stay with us tonight. She's gonna sleep with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living for it. Bro's pickpocketing at 10 years old? We don't know! I came to return this! I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Bro's chasing the bag at the age of 10. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Ah, thank you. And then, good night. So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy any chances with a lawyer who lives in a place like this. Yes, me too! I suppose he probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Iris, I suppose you're open to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. I don't know what all this is about, really, but it's a story you made up. Is it, Iris? This mantle script or whatever you call it. It's not exactly a story I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down in his diary, so I studied them and wrote his stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time, so I've never really met him. Oh, right. I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Maybe we should ask her. Iris, this Hound of the Baskerville story. I think it's another tale inspired by your father's account. That's right, I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow from the other cases, I mean. I don't really know, but it must be special in some way, because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. It pains me after to say this after you've toiled it for so long, but this story must not be published at this time under any circumstances. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, he does. He's treating you like a child. I mean, that's what it is, keeping secret like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You're also too trusted for your own good, but he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Someone's lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. Hurley's lying to me? I've realized I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Neither did I. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us from the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Nah, David's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. Oi, mate. And that's how we can all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. I'm so tired of doing the voice for an hour and a half. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. I always thought it made everything right. But I haven't listened to what Iris just said. It sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. I mean, if you never know you never had them, you don't feel like you're always wanting to meet them. It's true. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. We're keeping this from her? I think we should tell her the truth about Wilson. Gina, what did you say that you mean by you know what Mr. Sholmes' lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he popped that mental script or whatever, right? Well, come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. If that story was really an old Winterbank storeroom, there's no way some way from halfway around the world, in other words, you could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it without telling you. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, there's a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. How old are we? Oh, we aren't on here. I'm telling you, that mantle script ain't that Winterbank. You'd see soon if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar, just like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I've wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. But I don't mean I think that he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Oh my goodness, look at the time! Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning, I insist. Iris, it sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult, but deep down, she's still just a kid. Well, I think it's time I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris' father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Naruhodo, Mr. Naruhodo! That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. She's supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her from before she retired, I received this indication that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. That's Mr. Windibake's pawnbroker. Is she robbing it? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruto. No, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate at once. The door to Windibank is open, and the lamp is burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. There's no one here. Oh yes, there he is. Did he get fucking shot? Leave me, Naruto. After them, go! Hello, hello. What do have we here? The alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Is he dead?
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruto.
Naruto? Is that how you pronounce it?
Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!
They killed Windibank? Gina?
It's Gina!
Did they kill her? Wait, Gina, no! Wait, is she fucking dead? Wait, she has the fucking gun in her hand. From that moment, Windibake's pawnbroker became a crime scene. Is Gina fucking dead? A telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home. When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny was gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Bruno? I'll explain everything that I know. Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm so sorry, but Mr. Winterbank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Okay, so we're defending Gina. So is one of them who's the shadow of Mr. Winterbank? I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina. The thing is... I know. None of us think she did it. I'm sorry, there's nothing I could do. So we're defending Gina. So where's Hurley then? Is he still in there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to the hospital this morning. When we entered Winterbanks, a gun was fired, and he took a bullet. His life isn't in danger. Why can't he? Nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. Where's Susie, Bruno? She's still at the police station. I expect she's being questioned. The police said she wouldn't be finished for a while. I didn't get a good look at the criminal, so they weren't questioning me for long, and Mrs. Otto stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station. There's the two thugs that were on Mr. Winterbank's shop. We shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank. I just froze. After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. It's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Well, if you seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Bruno. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. I don't understand why they've arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Mr. Winterbank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all his deposited articles, and the storeroom door was locked from the inside. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. And according to the detectives who investigated afterward, there's no one else in the room. It's the only explanation. They could have shot him through the little flap. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. I can't just stand sitting around here waiting. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me. Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget we have to visit the crime scene. And that is going to be where we save the game and end the stream for today. I will see you all later. Goodbye. Alright, thank you. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll probably be live tomorrow at the same time. Me and my friend are probably going to play some of the worst video game of all time, which is Overwatch. No, I'm kidding. It's not the worst video game of all time, but it's up there. It's only fun with... Alright, so I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!